By the time you turn 18,
Yes.
if you were born and raised here from foreign parents,
Yes.
by the time you turn 18, you have 12 months
Yes.
before you turn 19 to apply for the Italian citizenship. So you don't get it directly. You need to ask for it.
Since the first day till the 18th year, you have to prove that your residence was here in Italy.
Yeah.
If 1 week miss, if 1 month miss, you're not getting the Italian citizen, because this is what happened to
foreigner.
me. Yes.
Yes. So it's like, okay, at this point, I need to ask for the Italian citizenship. I need to apply for the Italian citizenship as if I was not even Italian in the first place, like as if, like my parents would. Exactly, I did the same exact process that my parents did to get the Italian citizenship, which is ridiculous.
Yes.
And this law still exists.
Yes.
Because
There isn't
up
a
to
law
today,
that provides.
in 2015,
Yes.
whoever was born here has to wait until 18. They do everything to delay the acceptance of me being Italian.
They didn't want to give me the Italian citizen, and I was born here. Bellamy, I was born here.
Girl, me too. We went to the same struggle. There are politicians protesting against second generation Italian getting the Italian citizenship straight away. They are protesting.
Yes, there isn't a
Screaming
law.
out of
Yes,
their
this
lungs.
is true. This is true. There
Because
isn't a
they
law that
don't want, for them it's acceptable that an African comes here, you give birth to a child, we don't want to consider that child Italian. Because you know what? Italian people accept us either when we are good in sports, because whenever you need a black person playing in your team, all of a sudden you get this Italian citizenship just like that.
Yes.
Okay. For
football.
Mario Balotelli.
Yeah.
Italy is a nation built by immigrants.
I know.
Italians, actually, they talk about immigrants coming here and stealing, killing, committing a lot of crimes. What about the mafia that you have exported all over the world? Like, are you kidding me? You have exported crime everywhere.
It's
so
true. It's
what are you talking
true.
about? Do you know how many Italian people, your grandparents, your great-grandparents have moved to North America and to South America? Like, for what? Wherever you go, you find an Italian restaurant. Why?
I know.
Not because one day they decided to, it's
know.
because years
It's
and
true.
years and years ago, they packed their bags and they go, and they moved. Maybe now you have a life here because your grandmother, your grandfather, or your great-grandfather tens and tens of years ago has moved to United States, and he used to work to clean or do whatever, sending you money here. So really, the life that our parents are doing here is what your great-grandparents did years ago. My parents came here to bring me a better life and to give also a better life to their relatives in Uganda. But your great-grandparents did the same. They just got on the ship and they went. They didn't even know whether they would have reached the destination or not. Just like we see hundreds and thousands of Africans dying in our coast, and most of them, you know, they leave Africa and they don't know whether they make it here. But that is the same journey that your ancestors did tens of years ago, and they were able to build a life for you here. So what are you talking about? Like, if you want all of us to go back to our country, you should take all your great-grandparents, your cousins who live in the US, your cousins who live in Germany. What about all the immigrants and all the children and the grandchildren of immigrants, of Italian immigrants abroad? Let them all come here. At that point, maybe we can go back to Africa. But until then, until you're not ready to accept all those people in your country, then maybe the Italian financial situation will get better, I guess. Since we are the problem, since foreigners are the problems, once we go and all the original Italians come back, maybe that will solve the problem for you. Like,
I'm sure that my mother is not the only one that has to change her life like that here in Italy, because I have a couple of friends whose parents was professor or doctors. She was a professor, chemistry and biology professor, and when she came here in Italy, they didn't recognize her degree, So she had to change her job to clean houses. It's nothing wrong on cleaning house, but if your job is a professor, if you have another job, why would you not recognize that here in Italy? I don't understand that.
It's common because, I mean, it happened to my mom as well. When she was in Uganda, she was a teacher in secondary school. She was teaching history and English. So she left her job. She left her stable career as a professor. Most of the time you do it for the love of your spouse, of your husband. My father came here first because he was a doctor. He graduated here, he studied university here. At first she started selling, I mean, she was pretty much an agent. She started selling jewelry. I mean, the only thing that she brought here was a sewing machine. So she started sewing pieces for other people, which used to be her hobby in Uganda, became her full-time job here. She couldn't earn enough money with that, so she started cleaning. I remember when my mom was young, she used to clean the school. Yeah, she used to be a cleaner at the school where I used to go when I was a kid.
Yes, mine too.
And that's because at the time my father was still studying at uni, so of course he was not a doctor yet, so my mom actually had to work to pay for my father's uni at first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she had to, I mean, the only thing she could do was sewing clothes and cleaning. I mean, then my father started working and, you know, things changed, but now still she's not a teacher. Now she works in the medical environment. But I don't know, I think it's something that's very, very common, and
even my mother.
It's a shame really, because you come here hoping for a better life, to see that all your efforts, all your degrees, you know, have no value at all. It's really sad. That's why, I mean, maybe that's why they also put a lot of pressure on us kids.
Yes, sometimes I feel guilty, like I'm working, I have my own job, but unfortunately I didn't got the point I want to achieve. So my mother sacrificed herself. She left her job because of my father. My father was studying at uni here in Italy, and she left everything for him, and now she's waiting for me, you know, to help her, because now she's not able to work anymore because she's sick, and I'm doing the best I can. I'm doing the best I can, and I'm sure I will reach what I'm looking for. For sure I have to, because she sacrificed herself for me and my younger brother.
I think that I will never be able to repay my parents back for the sacrifices that they made. When I think about it, it's so painful, because had I been in their shoes, I would have not been able to probably suffer that much, especially because both of our mothers at some point became single parents.
Yes.
So especially, you know, being a single parent in a country that you don't know, with no relatives at all, because I don't have any relatives here, struggling, hoping for a better future, hoping that one day your kids are going to make you proud, hoping that you're doing this thing for a good reason. It's, I don't know, when I think about it, I can't even, I mean, I realize that this has been a common story.
Yes.
You know, of parents abandoning their children.
Yes.
Or maybe building a family with other people and just forgetting about your own kids.
Yes.
Or maybe they pass away or whatever, and so the mothers are just left there. And what are you going to do? To decide to, you know, really completely forget about your life.
Yes.
Because that is what I feel my mother did. She forgot about, and up to now,
yes,
I mean, that's how she still lives. And she's plus 50 years old, and I don't know, I just wish that I could pay her back for all the sacrifices that she made for us. My biggest dream would be for her to stop working, build the biggest house ever in Uganda, where her and her sister and all our aunts and cousins can live, and she can just spend her, you know, her old age just relaxing, chilling, knowing that my brothers and I are good. I try not to think about it, but when I do, it's deep. It's really. You're also the eldest child.
Yes.
And I am too, so I think that brings us even a a bigger responsibility. Also because, you know, at our age, you know, when you pass maybe 22, 23, when are you going to get married? When are you going to have kids? If you were in Uganda, by now you will be married with 2 or 3 children. What are you doing now?
My auntie started to asking me.
Oh my God.
She lives in US and she was like, so Loretta, when are you going to get married? I was like, no. First I have to, you know,
Establish.
Yes.
That's crazy.
My kids supposed to have no problems. I mean, I have to provide for them. I don't want to depend on my husband. I will never do that because my father left. And I know the pain, how much my mother suffered from because of this. So I will never let this happen to me. And I know the feeling when you see your mother working so much alone, like no,
it's not good.
It's not good.
It's not like, okay, let's get married, let's have kids, then what happens. It doesn't matter, because what's important is that you have a family. No, like being a wife and being a mother is not my #1 priority. No, I've always thought of being independent, of having a stable career. And then once I have achieved that, once I have become proud of myself.
Yes.
You know, the idea that a woman can be a woman without being a mother and a wife, that a woman can be satisfied of herself. I don't know, my relatives don't see it that way. Like all my relatives, literally all my cousins, they all have kids. I have cousins who are 16, 17 years old, they are married with kids.
Wow.
And I don't know, to me it's crazy, because what are you going to do with your life? All you're going to do is stay at home, looking after your kids, and that's it, which there's nothing wrong with that. Actually, I kind of admire people who can dedicate themselves completely to their family, but I feel that I would be happier with something a little bit more, you know, adding a little something to it.
Of course, if you don't feel like you have your own purpose, how can you give the right love to children, to anybody? This is what I think. If you don't have your dream, you know, your own dream, your own purpose on this life, how can you love others? How can you... This is what I think. This is what I think. Every time I have to explain myself, you know, they ask you, why are you here in Italy? Why do you speak Italian so well? How did you come here?
How long have you been here?
How long have you been here?
Now they want all foreigners to get out of here. And myself, just because I'm black, I'm considered a foreigner. When you feel rejected by who you consider being your own people, like this is, I mean, I thought I was Italian, okay? So to keep being rejected by Italians themselves, I was like, okay, you don't want me to be part of this nation.
But you're Italian. You're Italian.
Of course I'm Italian. I was born here. I've been living, eating, breathing, hearing Italy my whole life. Up until I was maybe 17. I saw myself as just being Italian. I'm feeling more African than Italian right now. The video that we saw on TV like 2 days ago, where a TV host of a political type of show, he interviewed Antonio.
Yes.
It's like,
that
okay,
was crazy.
So where is Antonio? Where is Antonio? Okay, so you are a second-generation immigrant.
He said that he's a second-generation Italian immigrant. That's what he said.
Which makes no sense at all. What is a second-generation immigrant? Like, what? He had to explain to this guy, listen, no, I'm not a second-generation immigrant Italian. I'm Italian, period. I mean, I'm Italian. I was born here. Why don't you recognize myself as being Italian?
Yes, they have to accept this. This is happening. I'm almost 30 years old. And I was born here. These things are happening already. They have to accept this. Even if they don't, this is happening.
We are a reality, you know.
Yes,
we are a reality. So whether you like it or not, we are here. We are in front of you. You can't deny it. You can't reject us for that much longer, because I mean, we are here. Italy is not a patriotic country at all. Italians become patriotic when it comes to football and when it's time to protest against foreigners.
Yes.
You're really trying to deny us, even though you see us every single day.
Yes.
We are in front of you. We walk by you every single day. You see us walking in the supermarkets. You see us playing soccer. You see us everywhere.
Yes.
But you see us as foreigner. You see us as an immigrant.
All around the world, Lupita Nyong'o is the only one woman of color who is, you know, giving her face to a high-end makeup brand. It's ridiculous. And why did they decide to do this when she was up,
because she won an Oscar, you know?
Because why didn't you think about this?
You know what?
Before.
Lupita Nyong'o has a very her skin color is very close to mine, and just like me, there are so many other dark-skinned people here, but up to this day it's impossible. It's really impossible for me to find a foundation.
Even for me, I have to ask to my auntie who lives in US to bring the foundation for me for my shows, because nobody in Italy had no idea on how to put makeup on my skin.
Even in the entertainment business.
Yes, on TV, on theater. When I did Sister Act, I had a special permission to put makeup on myself, because nobody has no idea on how to put it. Even if they did have the foundation and the concealers, because they send it, they didn't know how to do it. They didn't know how to put it. These things has to change.
This super famous makeup brand, I called them because I said, okay, Lupita Nyong'o, okay, I guess I can find this foundation at least in Milan.
Yes.
So I go to the shop, nowhere to be found. I call the customer service. Oh, no. Oh, no, girl. I'm sorry, you will never find this shade in Italy because Italian women don't wear that shade. I was like, what? Excuse me?
Excuse me?
Oh, listen, don't even waste your time going to other shops in other towns, because you will never find that shade in Italy, because that is not the shade that Italian people need.
Oh.
It's not the shade that Italian people use. And I was like, excuse me, I am Italian and I need this shade. So she paused for a few seconds, yeah? And I was like, hello, are you still there? She said, yeah, I'm here, but sorry, I don't know what to tell you, but Italian women don't use that shade, so there's no need for us to provide stores with that shade of foundation. At that point, I was like, okay, listen. We are in 2015. We are thousands and thousands and thousands of people, non-Caucasian, in Italy. How can you give me that answer? Like, it's a shame, especially when you have such a dark-skinned person as a testimonial for your brand. Like, what the hell? So I decided to give up. I'm not even interested in buying that foundation anymore. Then she said, okay, the best thing I can do is having sent from Paris, but I'm not going to assure you that you're going to receive it anytime soon. So it's like, okay, I have that beauty supply store under my house with Lupita Nyong'o face, like, huge. So don't sell me an idea in which you don't believe. You know what I'm saying? Do not sell me an idea that you don't believe in. Do not make me think that changing is happened when it's just
really not
a lie. Because you know what? They're really good. One thing that I've noticed recently is that they're really good at throwing smoke in your eyes just to shut your mouth, you know?
Yes.
They want you to believe that something is happening so that you will quit complaining.
didn't want to give me the Italian citizen, and I was born here. Bellamy, I was born here.
Girl, me too. We went to the same struggle. They do everything to delay the acceptance of me being Italian. If you want all of us to go back to our country, what about all the immigrants and all the children and the grandchildren of Italian immigrants abroad? Let them all come here. Once we go and all the original Italians come back, maybe that will solve the problem for you. Like,